softball.
And a jam-packed weekend, too. Baseball in action later on today against Vanderbilt. Double-decker weekend, too. Arts and Music Festival. A lot going on in Oxford, Mississippi today, including the series finale. Huizenga deals today's first pitch. It's in there called strike against Kenzie Fiedler. And we're off and running for our series finale between Ole Miss and Tennessee. Fiedler hitting .388 this season. One of the best hitters in this Lady Vols lineup. And you see she shows bunt. Yesterday, Tennessee really capitalized on small ball opportunities, Carly, and I wonder if they'll do that again today.
I think they didn't show any of that, truthfully, on Friday, and you saw that they lost that game. I think yesterday you watched them take a brand new approach that ended up in their own favor.
That was a 6-0 Tennessee winner against Ole Miss yesterday to even up the series. Ole Miss took game one 3-2. The Rebels have won just 14 games all time against Tennessee as well. Fiedler stays alive. Huizenga was just burst onto the scene in Oxford, the freshman, with 162 strikeouts this season, 4 away from moving up to 4th most in a single season at Ole Miss.
Utilizing that off speed again, I think she'll see that a lot today.
Why is it such a valuable pitch?
I think today specifically, or for the series at least, I mean, UT has struggled with it. I think that's why you see bunt a lot more. You know, they're trying to catch the ball, trying to figure out what spin it is.
Just misses. 3-2.
Huizenga looks sharp today. She's thrown 2 days in a row, no off day.
How tough is that to do?
She's a freshman. You'll find that more freshmen get used to a lot more.
Called strike 3 on the outside edge. Boy, you don't see that much from Kenzie Fiedler, the 4-year veteran, who's just struck out looking for a 4th time this year.
That off speed is just nasty. You know, you wonder what these hitters have thought about throughout the weekend series, knowing, you know, not to expect that they were going to see her this morning, but they are.
Yeah, Huizenga pitching the entire weekend. Came out of the bullpen yesterday, allowed 4 earned runs and 3 hits. A chopper to third, Ashton Lansdell. Her first throw today, she retires Taylor Panel. And 2 quick outs for Ole Miss defensively in this first inning. But Huizenga had struggled in her 2 previous Friday starts, and she had a great Friday night against Tennessee. 5 2/3 innings, she allowed 2 earned runs, but only struck out 1 batter. She leads Ole Miss in strikeouts this season, 3rd in the SEC as well in strikeouts coming into the weekend. I mean, this entire weekend, we've been blessed to see 2 of the best strike throwers in the SEC. Carlin Pickens, the last 2 days. She's getting a rest today. Sage Margetko is in the circle. And also Miley Huizenga. McKenna Gibson sees the off-speed. Strike 1.
With that off-speed pitch, I'd be willing to bet that Karen Weekly's told every girl to at least watch the first pitch.
Just to see it?
Just to see it.
Yeah. Just a tad inside, 1-1. It was a 2-0 game yesterday going into the 7th inning before Tennessee exploded for 4 runs off 4 hits, including a couple of free passes issued by Huizenga. Tennessee wound up shutting out Ole Miss 6-0. Now 2-1. That's just what great teams do, though. I mean, they're number 1 in the nation in 2 of 4 polls for a reason, this Tennessee team.
You like to see that, you know, offensively, if you're going to produce 7 hits, that you at least get a few across the board, and unfortunately, I think Ole Miss failed to do that. Put your pitchers in a tough position.
Gibson hitting .327 this season in that 3 spot for Tennessee. Double-figure homers for Gibson this season for the 3rd time in her career. She has 10. The 2-2. Gibson as well, looking for her first hit of the series against Ole Miss. She was 0 for 3 on Friday. Went 0 for 2 yesterday, however, walked twice. Just the second time this year. She's been walked multiple times in a game. Two-time All-SEC first teamer the last 2 seasons. Maybe has another one coming this year. Now full count. Is it tough to identify that off-speed pitch out of the hand of Uchenyo?
Yes, I do. I think it's pretty difficult. You're also watching a little bit different of an approach here from the Tennessee hitters. They're all a little bit more up in the box. I think in attempts to try to catch it before it breaks. The last 2 days you've seen girls stand a little bit more heavy.
Outside corner, just misses, ball 4. Lexi Brady behind the plate was on her way to her own dugout. How close was this?
I think we've seen that a lot this weekend. Brady thought we were in there. And I think Miley did too. She wanted that pitch. You know, you turn around, you ask your umpire where exactly did that miss and how much closer on the plate she needs to put it.
I think maybe if she framed it a little bit and instead of going back to the dugout, that
gives the home plate umpire a little bit, you know, I mean, it's not a lack of respect, but it's also, you know, you sit long enough for him to also see it. It's just how you get things called.
Yeah. It's Matt Dial behind home plate today as Sophia Nugent takes strike 1. Hitting .297 coming into today. Second most homers as well on this Lady Vols team. 46 RBIs, second most on the roster as well. Has 1 hit this weekend. Was 1 for 3 yesterday. Fouls it off behind home plate. Hits the netting, 0-2. Sold out crowd today in Oxford for our series finale. Rubber match 2 between Ole Miss and Tennessee. And the SEC tournament looming too for both these teams. This is the second to last series in conference play. Yanked foul. Still 0-2. You can just see the sea of people in attendance today in Oxford. A lot of orange here too. Tennessee always travels well, I feel like.
When you're this close, how could you not?
One and 2 to Nugent. Hitting .283 for her career. Back-to-back years, too, she's had double-figure homers. Chases it upstairs, strike 3. And Uchenyo strikes out 2 to begin her outing here in our series finale in Oxford. Oh, getting the start today for Tennessee, the sophomore. In back-to-back seasons, too, pitching against Ole Miss. She transferred from South Carolina and pitched against Ole Miss last season, and now she's wearing Tennessee orange and pitching against Ole Miss in a series finale. What are we going to see from Sage Margetko today, Carly?
I think you're going to see low to mid 60s. She's going to throw a lot of spin. She has a lot of different pitches I think that they're going to see that they haven't seen throughout the weekend. Which is what I think makes this pitching staff for UT so powerful and so strong, is that you see a culmination of different pitches collectively.
Jaden Pone leads things off. She's been a tough out today. Not just today, but also this entire weekend. Hitting .407 coming into today. Yesterday was 3 for 3 with 3 singles and a walk, while the rest of the Rebels were 4 for 25 at the plate. An offense yesterday that just struggled with runners on base. Ole Miss was 1 for 16 with runners on base yesterday, and on Friday they were 1 for 12. It's not the recipe for success offensively, Carly.
It's not. You can't win a game if we don't produce. You've got to at least put something on the board. I think yesterday you saw a lot more ball being played than we did on Friday. Pone looking to get it started.
Takes the strike, 3-1. Nia Margetko, who got the win against Ole Miss last year back when she was with South Carolina, tossed 6 innings, did allow 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, but struck out 5. Walked a couple too in that last outing as Pone takes strike 2. Jane Pone last year against Margetko, she was 1 for 3. Pone getting 1 of 5 hits that Ole Miss had against Margetko last season. And takes the walk. And Tennessee's defense, they've been stellar all weekend as Savia Morgan back out in left field, Kinsey Fiedler's in center, Emma Clark back in right field. We saw her there yesterday. Laura Mueller and Ella Dodge back up the middle. McKenna Gibson, Taylor Panel in the corners, and the mainstay behind home plate this entire season for the Lady Vols, Sophia Nugent behind the plate. Lair Boutte steps in, former Tennessee Lady Vol. Was at Houston last year, now is at Ole Miss. Hitting .361 coming into today. This is game number 28 for her. Missed the first 17 games of the season, recovering from off-season surgery. Only played in 1 game against Florida a couple of weeks ago. She ran into the sidewall out in right field, trying to track down a foul ball. Took her out of action for a little bit. She was a little dazed for a couple days. However, against her former team, she's 0 for 7 at the plate. And she rips this into left center. Down for a base hit, and then it gets all the way to the wall. Jane Pone hits third. She's coming home. There's no throw. Lair Boutte against her former team puts Ole Miss on top.
I mean, she absolutely gets a hold of this ball. Takes it opposite field. And no attempt at the home plate.
That gets this sold-out crowd to its feet. Lair Boutte with 19 RBIs this season and now 9 doubles. And up steps Aaliyah Binford, who leads Ole Miss in doubles this season. And she fouls off the first pitch, just missed that one. Ole Miss scored first on Friday. They wound up winning.
Maybe that's what we'll see today.
Well, those in powder blue hope so. Binford was behind it, 0-2. Tennessee scored first yesterday and won. Wound up shutting out Ole Miss. The Rebels shut out for a second time in SEC play. And Binford pops up. Mueller, the shortstop, fights the sun and makes the catch, out number 1. I want to go back to the free pass that Jane Pone led off this inning with. Sage Margetko had been struggling recently with free passes, but she was so dominant against Auburn last weekend in that series sweep with the Tigers.
She was. I watched in one of the games. I think she was given a couple of innings, but it
down the right field line and foul for Percy Yamas.
Wasn't given much of an opportunity to kind of get herself out of some trouble. She was pulled pretty early. I think it was about 2 innings or so. As soon as she kind of gets into some trouble, I think that Karen Weekly looks to bring in Pickens.
Yamas with outstanding numbers this season as a freshman. And back to Margetko. She only walked 1 batter in 2 outings last weekend and 10 innings of work. Karen Weekly said she has electric stuff. I mean, she struck out 11 against Iowa earlier this year, 13 Ks and a 1-hitter against Nichols. She's had her bumps in the road, though, too, this year. As Yamas fouls it off, 1-2. But Coach Weekly saying that the most important thing for Margetko lately has just been limiting the walks. Again, in her last 3 outings, just 1 walk, 16 Ks. However, in her first 7 SEC outings, Margetko walked 17, struck out 26.
That makes it tough to compete. If you let a base get on, if you're giving it away, most of the time you find that they come back around, as Ole Miss has here against Margetco.
That gets away from Nugent, and up to third base is Lair Boutte. So far, all is right for Ole Miss in this first inning in our series finale. Already a 1-0 lead on Lair Boutte's RBI double.
You like to see a lot of movement in the first few innings of the game.
A roller to first. They come home. Boutte is out at the plate. Great play by Gibson, the first baseman, to get Boutte at home plate. Percy Yamas is safe at first.
I almost question why she goes on this. Why not give you guys another opportunity with 2 outs and having a runner on third?
Yeah, because sometimes, when the infield was playing in.
It's early.
Yeah. Lexi Brady steps up, and she gets hit by the pitch.
Another free base given up by Margetco.
Yeah, second freebie by Margetco. Lexi Brady leads Ole Miss 2 in HBPs this season, now with 13.
As a pitcher, it's always difficult when you know that girls have a tendency to get hit by pitches.
Mackenzie Pickens at the plate. It's one thing I don't think science can explain, the tendency to get hit by a pitch.
I think there's tendencies.
You think?
I think there's tendencies.
In what way? Is it just batting stance? Is it hugging the plate? What is it?
The closer that you'll hug the plate, the harder you take away from position, especially when it comes to pitchers. And here for Margetco, she utilizes the entire plate.
Mackenzie Pickens down 0-2. The freshman from Flowery Branch, Georgia. Went to Buford High School. Won back-to-back state titles with her twin sister, who's at Louisville.
And she's just been fantastic this year.
She's been fantastic in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's seeing the ball really well. You love to see that out of freshmen towards the latter half of season.
Pickens is 2 for 6 this weekend. That's including against the reigning SEC Pitcher of the Year, Carlin Pickens, who we saw both Friday and Saturday. Pickens was stellar yesterday, striking out 10 batters. An 8th time this year she struck out double-figure batters. And Pickens skies this into right. And Clark makes the catch, and Ole Miss strands 2. They do take the lead on Lair Boutte's RBI.
For both teams and produce more across the plate.
Our first look at Destiny Rodriguez at the plate. She bloops this out to left center, and it's caught by Angelina De Leon. So Rodriguez begins her afternoon 0 for 1 today. And more on Pickens in her outing yesterday. She allowed 7 hits, which you saw on your screen a moment ago. It was the second most hits that she'd allowed this season, and she still threw a shutout.
How does that happen? You barred the question too, though, with Ole Miss, how they weren't able to get anybody across home plate yesterday. Their pitchers have thrown a duel.
Bunt popped up by Morgan. Brady lays out but comes up short. And a fantastic effort in all the catcher's gear and everything.
It's what you want to see on Game 3. Especially, this is the series. This makes it or breaks it. Taking this game takes this series, moving on into postseason.
Brady putting her body on the line. Look at this effort.
As a pitcher, there was nothing more I enjoyed seeing than having my catcher lay out for me.
Well, there's no relationship like a pitcher and a catcher's relationship, right?
There is not. It is pretty circular, pretty insular. You talk about watching pitchers and catchers have conversations, and a lot of time catchers will tell everybody else to back off, like, let me talk to her, I've got this.
Low and away to Morgan, 2-1. From Columbia, Tennessee, actually got to return home and play softball in front of all of town earlier this season. Played in the Mid-State Classic, which was hosted in Columbia, Tennessee. Shows bunt, lays it down. Who's got it for Ole Miss? It was Uchenyo, but Morgan's safe. That speed is a killer.
It was tough, too. You've got your defense playing back. I don't think anybody expected it. There's been a lack of that, I think, on both sides from both teams. You expect to hear somebody yell bunt, a shift of an infield. I think that kind of shocked everybody just then.
Savia Morgan's 44th hit of her freshman year. I think she's got some honors coming her way in the postseason. Ella Dodge steps up, hitting .232 this season from Bradenton, Florida. Redshirt freshman. 2 for 6 on the weekend, had a multi-hit game yesterday with a double.
They're going to see her again for 3 more years.
Yeah. There's another bunt. Ashton Lansdale lays out, makes the catch. Morgan is caught in between. This inning's over. Lansdale made the catch and Savia Morgan was caught off first base.
Seem to be in sync with one another, knowing where exactly to throw that pitch, where exactly to make that out at, and to get your team back in.
Well, Ashton Lansdale, after making that defensive play, steps in offensively. She's struck out in all 5 of her at-bats this weekend. Senior in her final year of softball. Began her career actually at Georgia Highlands College playing baseball. Was the first woman to play baseball at the JUCO level. And then transferred to FIU to play softball. Spent 2 years at FIU and is now here at Ole Miss.
I'd like to see her get on base today. I would. I'd like to see. I mean, you saw her defensively just now giving it her all. We hope that she can deliver here on offense.
She's had some stellar plays for Ole Miss defensively in center field, and this is the first time that Ole Miss fans are seeing her play defensively at third base.
I think you see that a lot from some of the Ole Miss players. The utility, the ability to play different positions, kind of helps you stack a staff a little bit differently.
Two misses outside. Lansdale also joined the Savannah Bananas for a bit last summer. She played on a 3-week contract and works the walk. Her first time on base this weekend. Third free pass by Marjetko. Second walk today. And out comes Megan Rhodes-Smith, pitching coach for Tennessee.
Back in the first, you watched Nugent call a timeout there, kind of asked her a few questions, but not everybody came to the meeting. It seemed like it was something small. They kind of had it figured out, but I think this is where you'll see Marjetko start to struggle with finding the strike zone, is because she's got so much spin.
And again, it's been the free passes, Karen Weekly said, that have haunted Marjetko's season, but she was brilliant last weekend against Auburn. Only walking 1 batter in both of her outings in 10 innings of work. And in Marjetko's first 7 SEC outings, she'd walked 17 batters. And just 1 walked batter in her last 3 games. Lansdale on her way to second base. She's there safely.
The Rebels are aggressive today. We've seen a lot more action on the base paths here. A different approach definitely being taken here on Sunday.
Yeah, Lansdale's 5th stolen base this season, but hang on, we may have a challenge here.
Going on the field is that the runner left on time at first base. Tennessee is challenging that she left early. This play is under further review.
Ole Miss has had this problem this weekend.
It's the only challenge I think that we've seen from both teams.
And Ole Miss, every time Karen Weekly is challenged, is in scoring position for Ole Miss.
That's a fantastic read. I mean, put yourself in scoring position again with no outs. Puts pressure on UT right now.
Jaden Pone walked to lead off the first inning, and she was brought around to score by Lair Boutte. Angelina De Leon pops up the bunt, and Gibson makes the catch. Big first out for Tennessee. That's one that Angelina De Leon will want back too.
That's tough. I mean, you have one job there, you know, is to get the ball on the ground, especially with bunts. It's one of the hardest struggles, I think, for hitters. Something you know that they work on consistently, but doesn't always deliver in the game.
Up now is Taylor Malvin for Ole Miss, having her most productive season of softball. Playing in 47 games now, starting 46. She'd only started 5 times in the previous 2 years at Ole Miss. They get a piece of it, 1-2. Top of the order on deck 2 for Ole Miss. The hottest hitter of the weekend, Jaden Pone, waiting on deck. Seen Taylor Malvin too in that leadoff spot this year. But in that 9 spot, she's kind of serving as like a secondary leadoff hitter.
You talk about, you know, in SEC play too, their lineups don't ever, you know, you've got 1 through 9, right? But every one of them are tough. You put yourself in tough positions with runners on, and she's just as tough as your cleanup.
Yeah, she's been a tough out too these last 2 weekends as well. Malvin's 11 for 21. In her last 2 SEC weekends, she swings and misses. There's the first strikeout today for Sage Margetko.
Utilizes that off speed right there, out and away, and she chases. Not the pitch I think she was thinking it was going to be, but swings anyways.
Now 2 down for Ole Miss. Runner on second base and a 1-0 lead for the Rebels. Jaden Pone at the plate. Comes into today with the highest batting average on Ole Miss. 407 coming into today. This month of April, she's been shredding. Hitting 486 in the month of April.
That's amazing. I mean, it's what you'd like to see from a senior, and that's why she's in the leadoff position.
You know, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Jaden Pone as she was starting to get hot. And Jamie Traxel said, yeah, she's a tough out in the 7 spot. Jaden Pone was hitting 7 a couple weeks ago.
How much can change in just a few short series?
It has a 1-0 lead on Tennessee.
She continues to ride the wave that she's on.
Off speed, she grounds it to second base. And Dodge completes the 3rd out of the inning. Ole Miss strands one in scoring position, but has a 1-0 lead on Tennessee. Country to visit Ole Miss. Hasn't happened often for the folks here in Oxford to see the top-ranked team in the nation come to town.
It's been a fantastic turnout all weekend.
It's back in 2007. Tennessee was ranked number 1 and came to Oxford. Played 2 games, and Ole Miss and Tennessee split those 2 games. Laura Mueller is ahead 2-0. Miley Wachenio back inside the circle for Ole Miss. We've seen fantastic pitching this weekend.
Miley has been electric, truthfully. I mean, and it's what you enjoy seeing from freshmen. You love to see it.
Misses that time, 3-0. Yeah, from Bucheño. Bri Lopez has been spectacular. Got the save, her first in the season Friday night. Started yesterday, took the loss, but she still pitched fantastic.
I think we were talking about that earlier. You watched both Ole Miss and UT produce hits, while both pitchers did really well. I mean, I just think that UT yesterday was given more opportunities to capitalize on errors.
Yeah, Lopez through 5 innings, allowed 1 earned run, struck out 8. That was a tied SEC high for Lopez. And that's fouled off by Mueller. 3-2 now. Tennessee's known for good pitchers, though, right? I mean, throw out names like Monica Abbott.
Just
yeah.
Monica.
Yeah. Peyton Gottschall last year was really good. Now they have Pickens and also Marjetko.
I thought we saw a fantastic outing by Newitt, their freshman, too.
Yeah.
Another UT player on her way.
Laura Mueller works the leadoff walk to begin this 3rd inning. Second walk today for Bucheño. And this is that catcher-pitcher relationship we were talking about here.
And nobody else come in. Let me talk to her for just a second, see what's going on. Looks like a little bit of confusion, maybe.
2 walks already for Bucheño in 2 innings of work. And Lexi Brady had a lot of good things to say, too, about Miley Bucheño earlier this season and just her confidence. And she just described it as a confidence you don't necessarily see in a ton of freshmen. Something that, too, that she was proud to see. These girls have grown up quick, these freshmen for Ole Miss.
I think you have to. I mean, as freshmen, you want to start. You want to get out there. You know that you have experienced girls that are going to be tough. Tough to duel out of a starting position on.
Emma Clark from Cleveland, North Carolina. Another freshman, but on the Tennessee side of things, it's making an impact this year. She was 0 for 2 yesterday against Ole Miss in her first game of the series. Did not play Friday. She's ahead of Bucheño 2-0. Now struggling to find the strike zone.
She is. That inside corner, I think she has been having that called for the last 2 innings. You ask the question now, what's different? Lexi's done a great job behind the plate, framing that ball up, giving the umpire an opportunity to see where it's crossed the plate.
How much harder is it to get a batter out when you're unable to locate first pitch strikes?
I think it's twice as hard. You have to settle into a different focus now.
She's faced 10 batters, has thrown 7 first pitch strikes, but not to Emma Clark this at bat. There's a bunt, and now it's 3-2.
More of that short ball the Tennessee used yesterday to help bring them a win.
Mueller can steal bases. She has 6 this season, not the most on Tennessee's roster, but she's fully capable. It's Clark hitting 9th today for Tennessee with a 3-2 count. Freshman and Clark, that was on D1 Softball's top 100 freshman list. Softball America wanted you to know about Emma Clark too. She was on their freshman watch list. And she's in a battle right now with Ole Miss's freshman, Bucheño.
Duels of freshmen.
We've seen a lot of these duels between these two in the future. Rip right to Lansdale, makes the catch. Mueller's back to first in time. Boy, that was smoked.
That was a missile.
I mean, you can't hit this any harder.
And Lansdale, that just makes a fantastic job keeping her hand on it and even looking for a second play there. She's been a force defensively.
This is only her 3rd game this year, too, in the hot corner at 3rd. However, when she was at FIU, she did play infield there, but has been in the outfield for Ole Miss this season. Now it's Kinsey Fiedler. 4 for 7 this weekend against Ole Miss. We'll make it 4 for 8 because she's 0 for 1 today. Also has a triple in this series.
Guicheño struggling here. But she's been pitching for 3 days, you know. I think the conversation you have now is take a deep breath. Where fatigue is definitely there. You can't say that it's not. She's a freshman.
Well, here comes that conversation you were talking about. Nancy Evans, first-year pitching coach for Ole Miss. Stellar player at Arizona, was a national champion. Coming to Ole Miss from UIC, where she significantly improved that pitching staff.
You wonder what this conversation is.
Just
Temperature
about to
check?
ask you,
Yeah, I mean, temperature check. Where are you? What does it look like? I think she's struggling here to get some called strikes that she wasn't struggling with in the first 2 innings, which makes it difficult for a pitcher to resettle. She kind of has to refocus in, figure out what else she can use at her own advantage. But I don't think that it's going to work out.
Yeah, Guicheño does have 2 strikeouts. That was back in the 1st inning. Did have 1 walk coming into this inning. Then he got that big double play defensively back in the 2nd. Savia Morgan reached on a bunt single, and then Ella Dodge tried to bunt her over. But Ashton Lansdale made an incredible catch down the 3rd baseline and then doubled up Savia Morgan at first base, and that killed any momentum Tennessee had last inning.
Cleared the Ole Miss dugout. It's that type of energy that you're going to have to bring on Game 3 with the game on the line, and so is the series.
Conversation's over, and Guicheño deals a strike.
It's a nice answer back, too.
Ole Miss looking for its first series win against the #1 team in the nation. Looking for its 4th series win all time against Tennessee. Lady Vols, on the other hand, they're 4th in the SEC right now. If the SEC tournament started today, they'd have a double bye.
What better way to start the SEC tournament? With a small break.
Fiedler works the walk. 2 on now for Tennessee in this 3rd inning. Down 1-0.
You watched this energy yesterday that was the difference maker in the game for UT. You know, she looks to her dugout, Fiedler, as she takes that walk down the first base line and tells her girls, let's go. Help me. I've done my job. Now move me. Get me over.
She's done a spectacular job putting the ball in play. And so is this young woman, Taylor Panel, leading Tennessee in 9 offensive categories this season. And this spins foul. 0-1.
Panel here in a great position. Hitting .439 with 1 out and runners on 1st and 2nd.
Came up big yesterday with that bases clearing 3 RBI double in the 7th. 12 times this year, Panel has recorded 3 or more RBIs in a game. And she is Tennessee's leader in RBIs, one of the 9 offensive categories that she leads her team in. That's just bonkers.
9 categories.
9 categories. Homers, RBIs, batting average, OBP, we can go on and on. She's stellar. The 1-1 is driven high, deep to left. It's gone.
She absolutely sees every bit of that ball now. I mean, you saw this energy yesterday from Panel, you know. I mean, she didn't homer, but this is a player that comes in clutch in situations, situational hitting, and this is what Karen Weekly's been talking about. That's an absolutely beautiful swing. Now we know why 9 categories have her reigning name. intentionally walked a lot the last weekend when I talked about this girl being hungry to eat.
Those that have made the trip from Knoxville up on their feet after Panel's 15th homer this season. Now on a 8-game hit streak, 21-game on base streak too for Panel. 21 games is a new career best for her. And now McKenna Gibson looks to follow that up after Tennessee takes their first lead today. First pitch strike to Gibson, or I should say she's down 0-2.
Gibson's another one of those clutch players that Karen Weekly's talking about. Even here just with 1 out, give yourself another opportunity to put another run on the board.
Talked about free passes. Chenio has 2 this inning, and both score on that home run.
It's something that your pitching staff will talk to you about over and over and over again. It's something you work all through preseason and fall ball. You hope to get most of those kinks worked out, but after 3 days, I think we should give her a little bit of room.
For Chenio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's done a fantastic job. It's a lot of weight to carry, too, as a freshman, knowing, too, that you were going to come out and start today after throwing 2 days in a row, knowing these girls have had ample opportunities to see your best stuff.
Is it that much harder to pitch against a team a third time?
I believe so. It was always difficult. I mean, when I played here, it was always hard starting on a Friday and then knowing, too, that they had already had an opportunity to see you on Friday, knowing they were going to see you again on Sunday. I think you just make adjustments.
This is fisted to center. Pickens back and makes the catch. A big second out for Ole Miss. That is a tough play over the shoulder going backwards.
That's a fantastic job by the defensive read here, though, and based on pitch call. You know, a lot of the girls you're going to find shift and movement based on what pitch is being thrown. If the infield's up there, that's a runner on base.
Pickens, a freshman at second base. In fact, the whole right side of the infield for Ole Miss is freshman. Yamas at first, Pickens at second. Then you have Wachenio in the circle. She deals a strike to Sophia Nugent. There's Yamas on the bottom of your screen, Pickens at the top. Jamie Traxel calling them the future of this program that are really going to, she said, drive this thing. Nearly hit Nugent.
Nugent's not really been given much of an opportunity to take it to the opposite side of the field, which is what she likes to do. I think Ole Miss is doing a great job of keeping every pitch that they've thrown at her on her hands, keeping everything inside.
Fouled off behind home plate. How to play. And Nugent 0 for 1 today, struck out her first time up. Now 1 for 6 this weekend. Had a sac fly RBI yesterday. She was 1 for 3.
You kind of watched her struggle through this series a little bit.
Bounces that foul.
Again, on the inside hands. She's got a hard time keeping her hands through to get that ball fair. I don't know that I've seen her hit an inside pitch fair. No, she's roping them. Don't let me get you wrong.
She's still making
Yeah,
contact.
I mean.
Obviously, there's something in the scout. Throw her inside.
Absolutely. I would hammer the inside here. Ole Miss has been successful with that. She's popped up quite a few times.
Off the glove of Wachenio. Pickens charges, throws to first, not in time.
You give her on something on the opposite side of the plate and she will drive it.
Nugent's second hit this weekend. And Carly, isn't this tough as a pitcher too to react like that in the circle when the ball's coming your way?
Immediately. It's fast. You know, you've just finished your pitch, and by the time you look down, the ball's right there.
I feel like it's harder not to lay off than to react and try to make the play as the pitcher.
Yesterday, you watched Pickens take one off of the thigh.
And she came in and threw harder.
She did.
1-0 to Destiny Rodriguez. 0 for 1 today. She blooped out to the shortstop her last time up back in the second inning. Rodriguez getting her 15th start this year.
I like that as a freshman, she's not afraid to go in on the hands.
Sold out crowd today too in Oxford for the series finale. Tennessee taking their first lead today on Taylor Panel's 3-run home run. A lot of orange in attendance today, a lot of powder blue and red too. First sellout of the season in Ole Miss's new $32 million stadium. 3-2. Ole Miss has never taken the series against the #1 team in the nation. Tennessee hasn't lost an SEC series on the road yet this year. They've also won 21 of its last 23 SEC series, including having won 4 straight coming into the weekend. And this inning continues. Nugent takes a turn at second base. Brady Iser back to the bag. Third walk this inning for Miley Wachenio. 4th of the day.
It's tough. I mean, as a pitching staff, you know, you allow a few every now. I mean, you can argue too that in the beginning of the game you find some difficulty there settling in with the strike zone here, but you know, we're well into the third.
Now it's Savia Morgan. 7th Lady Vol to come up to bat in this third inning. Had that bunt single back in the second inning. It's really tough to be good on the road in this league, isn't it? In the SEC, and Tennessee's 7-4 in conference play on the road.
You love to see it. SEC softball has grown so much in the last few years. You love to see a packed stadium. You love to go. You love to travel. You love to travel. You love to see people.
Line drive to center. Taylor Malvin under it. Makes the catch. And Tennessee. Well, those boxing gloves might be punishment, to be honest with you. Gorgeous day in Oxford series finale. Sold out crowd, too, for the first time all season. Blair Boutte gets hit in the foot to lead off this third inning. As Aaron Newer comes in to pitch for Tennessee from East Aurora, New York, the freshman stands 5'9", replacing Sage Marjetko. She pitched on Friday against Ole Miss and was lights out.
It was an outstanding performance.
Came in for Carlin Pickens with her 2 innings on Friday. Newer finished the game, struck out 5 batters and walked just 2. And Binford pops up. Dodge battles the sun, makes the catch.
I think it's a smart move by Karen Weekly here. She didn't allow a single earned run against Ole Miss, and if you want to take this series, I think you bring them the same energy and give them the same thing.
Yeah, she only allowed 1 hit too. Boy, if they know they can rely on Newer going into the postseason, it's just another dominant pitcher for already one of the best, if not the best, pitching staff in the country.
It's amazing. You love to see how well the girls play together too. You know, most of the time you'll find that you'll have, you know, 2 stars, but 1 through 4, they're amazing.
ERA's 2.09 this year. She's 5-3. It's Percy Yamas at the plate, freshman for Ole Miss. Hitting .370 coming into today. 6 homers, reaching on the fielder's choice earlier today. And Yamas muscles this into right. It was off the end of the bat, and Ole Miss has runners on first and second base in this third with 1 away.
I think Boutte wasn't sure whether or not they were going to make a dive for that and catch it. She looks like she left first base to get on to second a little late. Ole Miss does advance, though, with runners on first and second. Play of effect there.
All right, we'll let Margetco warm back up. Tennessee leads 3-1. Ole Miss is threatening. They're in RBIs. And it's a quick call of time by Tennessee.
I think this conversation is, do you throw at her or do you walk her? Do you put her on and give yourself a force out with the force on 3?
Comes out to start this third inning. Aaron Newer was in, and now they go back to Margetco.
You wonder what the thought process on that is. Was something off, something going on? Did she need, a talk with the trainer? Newitt had a fantastic approach.
Lexi Brady at the plate too, fouls it off. Could be strategy as well with Ole Miss's power hitter at the plate and Brady.
You think they bring her in just to throw against Brady?
Could be, especially with ranks like that in Ole Miss's record book. Beautiful off speed.
Fantastic pitch right there.
Brady stays alive. Tennessee took a 3-1 lead after Taylor Panels' 3-run homer in the top half of this inning, and now Ole Miss is threatening with 2 on base and their power hitter at the plate. Lexi Brady has 1 hit this weekend against the Lady Vols. Hit by a pitch in her first go-around today. 0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout. 1 for 1 on Friday night. She walked twice.
Another off-speed pitch. I think that she's going to continue to see that here in efforts to not let her get a hold of anything hard.
Ole Miss struck first against Margetco in the first inning. She walked Jaden Pone to start off the bottom half of the inning, and then Lair Boutte, the former Lady Vol, scorched one into the gap in left center to score Pone. 3-2. Brady has such good plate presence.
She's very calm, which is always very intimidating when you're on defense, to see a hitter of a caliber of her nature to walk up there and it'd be like another day.
Swings and misses. Runner breaks for third. Tennessee gets the double play. Strike them out, throw them out.
I mean, what a fantastic job right there by Tennessee.
Tennessee leads 3-1. Bree Lopez now coming in for Ole Miss to pitch. She replaces Miley Wachenio. This is also her third time seeing the Lady Vols this weekend.
I think that's a great play or a great move by Jamie here. Go ahead and throw out there who gave you the best performance, I think, against these UT players.
Lopez got the save on Friday night and then started yesterday through 5 innings, had 3 hits, allowed 2 runs. 1 was just earned, and again, she struck out 8 batters yesterday. That was tied most for her in an SEC start in her career. This is year 2 for her too. Year 2 for Bree Lopez at Ole Miss. Impressive numbers, 2.34 ERA. She's 10-2 this season. Did take the loss yesterday. And is facing Ella Dodge to start. Laura Mueller on deck. Emma Clark in the hole. This inning for the Lady Vols.
I mean, this Ole Miss pitching staff has been utilized through and through. You know, fatigue starts to wear a little bit of an effect on how this game has turned out.
Interesting, too, that Ole Miss, they do have another pitcher in Aaliyah Binford, but she's not pitched this weekend.
She is not. She has not thrown for them at all.
She is hitting. Also not playing defense. She's in the DP spot. Been there in that spot this whole weekend. Fly ball out to center. And Dodge is retired. She's 0 for 2 today. I want to go back to last inning and how it ended, Carly. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, you get a hit batter and a single. You have runners on first and second base with 1 out. Lexi Brady strikes out, and then Lair Boutte's thrown out at third base. Is that lack of communication, you think? Was there a missign somewhere? A head scratcher to the end of that inning.
I think so. I think there was a little bit of confusion. And then from Marjetko, you saw her highest swing and a miss ratio is on her rise ball. I mean, as Ole Miss hitters, you've got to lay off of it.
Laura Mueller at the plate. A walk and a run scored back in the third inning when Tennessee sent 8 batters to the plate in the third, scored 3 runs. They got 2 free passes from Wachenio, and then Taylor Panel crushed a 3-run home run to left. Her 15th on the season.
You wonder if at her next at bat, they throw at her at all.
Series finale 2 in Oxford. Check swing, and Jill Poole said Mueller didn't go.
I always loved a good lefty, like a lefty pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Always throws a little bit of a challenge in the dynamic.
In what way?
You're just seeing it from a different side. You know, ball. You can throw a couple of different pitches that you can't throw as a right-hander. Just gives her another tool to use.
Which pitches?
There's there's variations.
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, some of the spin on these balls, I couldn't tell you what they might be.
One of the Vols fans just dropped the foul ball and is greeted by boos from Ole Miss fans.
They were not happy.
Guess that was an excuse to boo the other fan base. That's what that really was. He had it in his hands. He should have caught it. He got to make the play.
Isn't that the rule?
Let's see if
one hand can touch it, 2 technically should. So, you should have had it.
couldn't make a play over there either. Oh, more boos coming. No hands, just feet over there.
You love to see it. You love to see fans engaged. They want an opportunity to.
Strike 3 call.
What a fantastic pitch by Brie Lopez right there. I mean, you maintain this type of energy and allow your hitters on offense to give you a little bit more, and she could take this game.
She's just as cool as a cucumber inside that circle. I mean, she even came into the ball game with the Star Wars Imperial March theme.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most intimidating song you could come out to possible. It's Emma Clark takes strike 1. She's 0 for 1 today. Smoked one right to the third baseman, Ashton Lansdale, her first time up. Couldn't hit it any harder. Lansdale just made a great play. There are a lot of intimidating songs that you could come out to, but I think the Imperial March, without a doubt, the most.
Tops
yes.
it.
Yes.
Those were always fun, too. Getting to look, when you choose your walkout song, and then always, then there were some that were quite intimidating when it was who you were playing.
Yeah. Lopez, too, is a big Star Wars fan. Actually, episode 3 just got re-released in theaters. for the 20-year anniversary. Carly's judging me in my nerd fandom right now. Here's the 1-2. Into center for a base hit.
She gets a hold of that off-speed pitch just then, and it lands just behind second base. As a pitcher, there's nothing that frustrates you more.
Look how close Angelina De Leon is here, the shortstop. Man.
She just misses that. You love the atmosphere here too today from the players. I feel like this is a postseason game. We've said that almost all weekend, but you're watching the girls lay out for everything, almost like everything is on the line. But the series, there is a lot at stake with the series here for Ole Miss and for UT.
Yeah, if you're Ole Miss, you're wanting to prove to the committee that you should be a host site for a regional. They haven't done that here in quite some time.
When better to do it than in a brand new stadium?
Kenzie Fiedler at the plate, swings at the first pitch. Strikeout, a walk, and a run scored today for Fiedler.
I love her energy. I like the way she gets her team engaged. When she is on, she's on. She turns around and she is yelling at the rest of her girls. She does a little scoot just then, like she is just moving.
She's in her first year at Tennessee. Began her career at Washington. Was a tremendous player for UW.
Also another fantastic program. Bree struggling here a little bit to kind of settle into that strike zone.
2-1's fouled off. Coach Weekly, too, was saying about Fiedler that, she just had the type of character that fits in so well with the Tennessee program. Someone think, too, with the transfer portal, you gotta bring in the right characters that are a good fit for you and your team.
And how hard that can be by taking a chance on a kid that has good numbers, has thrown up good things for other programs.
Now full count to Fiedler. After Bree Lopez got 2 quick outs to begin this fourth, then allowed the single to Emma Clark. Now has Fiedler in a full count. Payoff pitch, ball 4. And the inning continues. First walk of the day for Bree Lopez, and now Taylor Panel comes up.
What will she do? You think we throw?
She's the reason why Tennessee's leading right now. 3-1, and she steps in the same exact situation she did in her last at-bat when she crushed her 15th homer of the season.
Karen Weekly finally getting that 2-out production she's been looking for from her team.
Right down the middle at 66. She's Coach Weekly in year 24. She's led Tennessee to 8 Women's College World Series appearances, 13 Supers, over 1,100 wins at Tennessee. 2 quick strikes from Lopez to Panel.
No better way to set yourself up than being...
And Brady completes the strikeout.
Another great job right there by Bree Lopez and that off-speed pitch.
Tennessee strands 2. They lead Ole Miss by 2. One, two, foul tip.
Or pizzas. This week only at Domino's.
Strikeout.
Another great job right there by Bree Lopez and that off-speed pitch.
Tennessee strands 2. They lead Ole Miss by 2. As Mackenzie Pickens rips one foul to begin this 4th inning. Alongside Carly Hummel, Jake Hermada with you. Jack Robertson directing. Mason Atkins producing today. Thanks for being with us. Sage Margetko back inside the circle for Tennessee. Got the start for the Lady Vols. Then was replaced in the third inning by Erin Newer. She saw just 3 batters, and then Margetko came back in to get the second and third out in that third inning. Ole Miss was doubled up on a strike him out, throw him out. What do you want to see more of this inning offensively from Ole Miss, Carly?
A little bit more production. We had it yesterday. They had 7 hits, and today we only have 2. At least they put something on the board today. But I think you want to see competitors, especially out of your freshmen. You want to see them compete.
Yeah, disappointing day offensively for Ole Miss. Having 7 hits against Carlin Pickens and not a run to show for it.
I mean, and with a pitcher that's as established as she is, I mean, we're talking about about to be a 2-time All-American here. She's not hittable, I mean, you just got to be stronger when it comes to situational hitting and making sure that you get those girls across the plate to help your pitching staff. I mean, Ole Miss here has utilized their entire pitching staff aside from Benford this weekend. And you know why. Tennessee is going to require you to do that if you want to win tough games. This is going to be a tough series if they expect to take it.
Third walk of the day from Margetko inside the circle. So far, only 1 of her free passes has scored today. That was back in the first inning. In 6 plate appearances this weekend for Lansdale, she struck out 5 times. She was lights out last weekend, though, in that Georgia series for Ole Miss. Had 3 homers. She was 4 for 9 at the plate. Made some stellar plays defensively today. I'll tell you that.
She has. I mean, and that's what you like to see. You love to see that from your defense. Laying it all out on the line on a game as important as today.
Yeah, rubber match today. And Nancy Evans is the first base coach. Jamie Traxel, we normally see her at first base. Jamie Traxel's in the bullpen, we're being told. Lansdale works a full count.
I think that's what you tell your Ole Miss hitters right now. Establish pitch count. Get her deeper in counts. Their pitching staff is tired.
She almost takes out her assistant coach, Aaron Earlywine. Showing off his moves over there.
He let that one go. You watched him yesterday kind of put a couple hands on a few. He's not that one.
Lansdale in front of this and yanks it foul.
I can't imagine how difficult it is for her to kind of come in between both sports, watching a ball being thrown underhand versus one overhand and not at twice the speed, but a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, Lansdale played baseball growing up. Pops it up behind home plate, but it gets out of play. Hits the netting. But you're right, she began her career at Georgia Highlands College, the JUCO level, first woman at the JUCO level to play baseball. Then she played baseball as well for the Savannah Bananas. It's on the USA Women's National Baseball team. The youngest player to make that team at 17. Action misses. 6 Ks on the weekend now for Lansdale.
That was an amazing pitch right there by her, too. I mean, this is her swing to miss ratio is on a rise, and she just chases that one.
3 on the day from Margetko. That brings her to 106 now on the season. And a new hitter for the Rebels, Rachel Connors. Pinch hitting for Angelina De Leon. See Connors' numbers. Got her first SEC start a couple of weekends ago against Florida. She was 1 for 2 in the second game of that series. She was one of the top-rated recruits in the nation according to Extra Innings Softball. Sees it low and away from Margetko.
You're seeing a lot of different pitches, I think, too, today from Marjetko, which makes it a little bit more difficult for the Ole Miss hitters to stay on top of anything, to really get any momentum going in their favor.
And that's the strategy here, too, from Coach Traxel, right? Try to get just a different bat up there, get a different look.
You'd have to in order to keep them off of their toes. I mean, they're just well-rounded as a whole team.
That hits her.
Another free base.
To this inning now from Marjetko in the 4th.
I mean, she nails her right on that inside elbow.
That one's going to hurt tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, didn't she had on a little guard too, and it just happened to hit her just underneath where that guard may not have been covering.
Here's Peyton Tanner, new pitcher for Tennessee. And we'll tell you about Peyton Tanner when we come back. 3-1, Tennessee's on top of Ole Miss, and the Rebels are as Taylor Malvin chops one to the left side. Great play by Mealer, the shortstop, backing up Panel. Steps on third for the out.
I mean, Tennessee's defense is they've been stellar today. So is Ole Miss, but I just think that they're answering in a way. I mean, anytime an Ole Miss player is able to put a bat on a ball, they're not letting them advance, not easily.
Ole Miss today with runners on base is 2 for 12, 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They just have not had success this weekend with runners on base.
It's a struggle, you know, and in postseason, creeping around the corner here, you've got to see more production from your team if you want to see them be successful.
And Jaden Pone, who has without a doubt been the best hitter for Ole Miss this weekend. 3 hits against the Lady Vols. 0 for 1 though today, with the walk and a run scored back in the first inning. Lair Boutte hit Jaden Pone home.
Ole Miss looking to put a couple more on the board here with the strongest part of their lineup.
Now 2-2.
You know, too, I think it puts it in a little bit different perspective there for the girls with a different pitch change. You know, they're not seeing the same things, and this is a new pitcher. UT has had the luxury of being able to have seen all of their pitching staff from Ole Miss throughout the weekend, and now Ole Miss hasn't seen her at all.
Payoff pitch from Tanner. On the ground to second base. And Dodge gets the third out of the inning. Ole Miss strands 2 in this 4th inning. It trails Tennessee. Has a 3-1 lead on Ole Miss. Taylor Panel with a 3-run homer back in the 3rd inning to give the Lady Vols the 3-1 lead. It's Bree Lopez back in the circle for another inning of work for Ole Miss. McKenna Gibson leads off for Tennessee. And 1-0 to start to Boo Gibson, her nickname, after the Monsters, Inc. main character. Parents gave her that nickname growing up. Out in front of that, 1-1.
There's a wonderful off-speed pitch right there again. It's also a lot to do with sequence, too. I think that Ole Miss has done a great job in Bree Lopez, truthfully. She's done such a fantastic job at keeping these hitters off balance.
She struck out 8 batters yesterday in her start. In game 2 of the series, Ole Miss was shut out 6-0, but Bree Lopez, yes, she took the loss, but 8 strikeouts in 5 innings.
It was arguably one of her best performances. I thought she had a fantastic game. I mean, it's hard to win when you can't produce. With an effort like that, you know, you just want to thank your pitching staff.
And Lopez, too, in her final year of eligibility. This is year 4 for her. Began her career at Hawaii. This is year 2 for her at Ole Miss. She had 6 starts a season ago and a 2.86 ERA for Ole Miss. On the ground and through the right side hole for Gibson. Her first hit this weekend. And 35th now in the season. And a good start for Tennessee to begin this 5th inning.
She does a great job here, too, of just taking that ball to the opposite side of the field. Situational hitting, UT has been fantastic at this weekend.
Absolutely, and that brings up Sophia Nugent.
Who struggled to produce a little bit here, I think, this weekend.
See Katie Taylor coming in to pinch run for Gibson. You mentioned it, Nugent was 1 for 5 in games 1 and 2, now 1 for 2 today. Did get a single back in the 3rd inning. And that 3-run inning where Tennessee sent 8 Lady Vols to the plate. Capitalized off 2 walks from Miley Wachenio, and then that 3-run blast by Taylor Panel.
Arguably one of Ole Miss's longest innings. It's hard to keep the momentum on your side when you've been out there that long. You've seen almost the entire lineup, which potentially gives these UT hitters a 4th opportunity at an at-bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Roped foul. Heads up in the dugout.
Absolutely annihilates the inside pitch. I mean, she takes it, almost around her. You wonder if she keeps her hands a little bit further back, waits on the pitch to get there, if she can hit that fair.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Lopez. Nugent stays alive. She too was getting recruited by both Ralph and Karen Weekly when she was in 8th grade, but then that rule changed where you couldn't commit to a school until your junior year of high school. Then Oklahoma came into the mix, and who's not going to field a phone call from Patty Gasso?
Right. I mean, in an 8th grade, to have that caliber having a conversation.
Nugent up the middle, past Pickens, base hit. And Taylor halts at second base. Now a multi-hit day for Sophia Nugent today.
I mean, she does a great job of taking that ball to the opposite side of the field, which is what Nugent likes to do. You'll find her struggle a little bit with that inside pitch, but she loves to take something oppo.
2 on with nobody out for Tennessee in the 5th inning. Nugent now up to 40 hits this season, enjoying her best year of her career at the plate. 2 hits away from her career best 42 hits last year.
What an amazing season she's having.
She's playing in her first game this weekend. Series finale between these two rubber match as well. Ole Miss has never taken a series against the #1 ranked team in the country. Tennessee, on the other hand, has not lost a SEC series on the road yet this year. Rodriguez shows bunt with nobody out.
You wonder how your defense is going to play this now with nobody out. I don't know. Do you bring them up? Do you bring them in? Knowing that she's probably only going to show that to you once or twice.
See what happens here. Here come the corners. Lansdale, the third baseman, throws out Rodriguez.
This is Karen Weekly's way of saying we want more. Situational hitting is so important, especially this late in the game. You don't want to return a Friday night where you have 2 innings being the only 2 innings in which either team scored. You want to see production every inning, yeah, but I mean, you've got to have more than just 3, and Karen Weekly knows that here.
And Savia Morgan steps up with a bunt single back in the 2nd. Over the glove of Lansdale into left. Taylor comes in to score. And now Tennessee has runners on the corners. Savia Morgan's 12th RBI this year, and she puts Tennessee up 4-1.
Savia Morgan has been amazing this weekend. I mean, you talk about, she's just hard to get out.
Coach Weekly said that she is one of the best learners I've ever coached. And in 24 years, that's a really hefty compliment coming from.
I mean, and she's showing it,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, it's one thing to, to say, hey, this girl, their fan base is very, very strong.
Even at Tennessee, I mean, they have one of the best environments too.
Absolutely.
A lengthy meeting for Ole Miss here. Just to kind of talk through this, settle everybody down.
Calm the nerves a little bit, tell everybody to just slow it down, take it back to the basics of things.
Now it's Ella Dodge at the plate. Runners on the corners. Not anymore. Runner breaks for second base. Here comes the runner from third. She's safe. Schuler scores.
Coach Trashel, she doesn't look too happy there. I think she's a little confused at why we went that way. Why Ole Miss decides to go. Why Lexi throws. You almost wonder if it was an intentional thing, but I don't see that the infield was playing it correctly, to be honest.
Tennessee's up 5-1 in our rubber match. And Dodge fouls off the pitch. It's 1-1. It's kind of one of the oldest tricks in the book, right? With runners on the corners, you send the runner from first to second, hoping that the catcher throws down to second base so that runner from third can come home.
I think it's going to be a little challenging here with how deep you have the infield playing, but rightfully so. Against Tennessee, their numbers, how hard these girls are hitting the ball.
And it's not like there are 2 outs in the inning, so if you catch the runner stealing, it's not like it's going to end the inning.
Right. I think they're trying to take any narrative of momentum that they've got and take a shift.
Cut on and miss by Dodge. 2 away for Tennessee in this 5th inning.
A beautiful off-speed pitch there just on the outside corner.
Now Dodge falls to 0-3 today as Coach Weekly pulls aside Laura Mueller before her at bat. With a runner on second base. Tennessee's unbeaten when it comes to SEC series on the road. They've also won 4 straight SEC series coming into the weekend, and 21 of their last 23 SEC series they've won. Incredible.
It's been an incredible season for Tennessee. Watching them in the postseason is going to be a power. I think anybody that is under the impression that that's who they have to face would rightfully be a little.
Line into center, down in front of Melvin. Morgan's on her way home. She scores. 3 runs scored this inning for Tennessee.
What an amazing read there from Dodge. She just absolutely takes that. You're starting to see Brie Lopez get a little bit, not shook. She's still cool as a cucumber, but I think she's getting hit a little harder here.
Throw just a tad late from Taylor Malvin in center. And now Emma Clark steps up. The freshman who had a single in her last at bat bounces one to Lansdale at third, and that takes care of this inning. 3 runs scratched across for Tennessee. They lead.
Project.com.
Carlin Pickens out of the bullpen. Ole Miss seeing her for a 3rd time this weekend. The consensus All-American last year, reigning SEC pitcher of the year. Last night, struck out 10 Ole Miss hitters and got the shutout win against the Rebels. Struggled on Friday night. Now she looks to slam the door shut on Ole Miss here in the 5th and beyond.
Yeah, I think Pickens, she wants the ball. You can tell she's coming out here looking like she's throwing a little harder than she showed on Friday or Saturday.
Yesterday, too, was Pickens' 8th outing with 10 or more strikeouts. She threw her 17th complete game, only walked 1 batter. It was also her 6th shutout this year, tied for the most in the SEC. So we're going to get Carlin Pickens against Ole Miss's Mackenzie Pickens. Called strike at 72. You're going to see heat, like Carly was mentioning.
The velocity is just unmatched. The SEC caliber here through and through is just amazing. And watching an established pitcher come out here, take the ball in her hand, trying to deliver a little bit more, I think, than she did yesterday. You take every opportunity you can to make moves in the right direction, make adjustments as needed.
Pickens bounces it to third. And Panel makes the play for out number 3.
Corner.
Yeah.
Given a few weekends of opportunities to kind of help boost rankings.
Kinsey Fiedler leads off for Tennessee, takes a first pitch strike from Brie Lopez. And Tennessee has Texas A&M next. They salvaged one today against Arkansas, who's already taken the series against A&M. Aggies won 2-0. Fiedler down 0-2. 2 walks today for her. Also struck out looking back in the first inning. Something you don't see her do often. In fact, just the 4th backwards K for Fiedler this year.
That's incredible. I mean, her presence just on the field as a whole is intimidating. I think consistency, you were talking about that earlier from the Tennessee team. I think you see that throughout all of their players, you know. I wonder if it's a class or something that Karen Weekly like puts them through.
Off the end of the bat and drops in, fair, base hit. Fiedler wants 2.
I'm not surprised by that energy at all. She's out there dancing on second base.
Just emoted back to her dugout at first base.
I mean, she's just electric too. I mean, her ability to get the whole crowd going too. It's what you want to see from all your players.
How quick she just turned on the Jets there too.
She was going too regardless. As soon as she saw that drop, she was getting a double out of that.
That sets up Taylor Panel, who had a 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Her 15th homer. We also have to mention she's on a 21-game on-base streak. That's a new career best for her.
It's what you want to see in the postseason too. A lot of your good players continuing that same energy.
Panel flies it out to right, and Boutte makes the catch, and Fiedler's back to second base.
Fiedler looking to make an overthrow there by taking off pretty hard there from second base. It's almost kind of like, I mean, it's not a cat and mouse game, but she likes to play out there, and you can see that. It's intimidating for players.
It's one of those attitudes that you're glad she's on your team.
Absolutely. You look at the situation too that, you know, she K'd in the first inning we were just talking about by looking.
She's on the run and safe at third.
Does a push-up on the way off of third base. It's that energy. She's fun. She's who you want to play with. It's who you hope to see the rest of your Tennessee players start to mimic as these girls get older.
Fans in venue get a look at it, and Jamie Traxel is going to challenge this. The review, then we look at the replay.
Give us some direction.
Well, now, sorry, we didn't show replays. We were just as confused as most people. Well, McKenna Gibson's at the plate. Here's your look at it, by the way. And De Leon just getting that back foot of Fiedler. And again, if we would have known that that was under review, we would have showed the replay a couple times. I'm sure someone's at home saying, show the replay, show the replay. Well, sorry.
We had no idea.
Yeah. Things happen. It's 2-1 to Gibson. So we're being told too, it sounds like Coach Traxel called for the challenge before the replay hit in venue anyways, to clear up any confusion there. 3-2.
I'm not sure if Gibson thought that was 3 or 2 just now.
Payoff pitch.
Another off speed.
And De Leon makes the play at short for Ole Miss. Rebels down 5. One more time. Huh? We were going to show the Kinsey Fiedler getting thrown out at third base one more time to you, but she was ruled out. There we go. But she was moving.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about fast. De Leon sliding with her into third base there to tag her out and to grab that back foot.
So that's the angle that the Video Replay Center used to call out Kinsey Fiedler. And Star Ferguson's going to pinch hit for Ole Miss in the 6th inning for Ashton Lansdell. Lansdell today with a walk and a strikeout. She's struck out 6 times in this series, and Ferguson getting the AB here.
I had a conversation with her on the field yesterday, maybe, and she had mentioned to me, you know, just that her job here was to pinch run. So I love to see her get a different opportunity in her step up to bat.
She transferred from Texas A&M.
No stranger to good ball.
No, absolutely not. Spent 4 years there. This is her 5th and final year, celebrating her senior weekend along with 10 others. And she's seeing Carlin Pickens, who's throwing it in there at 74 miles an hour.
I mean, that is just speed. There's, you know, half the time do you decide to swing before you even see it. Watching her take a little bit different of an approach. You've seen a combination here from Ferguson slapping and standing.
Pickens has already thrown the fastest pitch in softball history, 78.2 miles an hour. Strike 3 call.
Talk about that command right there. That was an amazing pitch. She just paints that outside corner, and unfortunately Star Ferguson doesn't see any of it.
Well, you blink, you're going to miss it. The reaction time has to be
pretty quick.
So minuscule when...
I always envied girls who got to contribute offensively because it has to be tough. I could never do it.
Addison Duke at the plate for Ole Miss. She's pinch hitting.
Pickens just now gives Coach Earlywine a funny look as he attempts to throw it back to her after yesterday's overthrow.
Yeah, you know his team didn't let him live that one down. Duke fouls it off. Freshman from Arizona. Playing in her 31st game this year. She's 5 for 13 at the plate. And some downtime here.
And another freshman. Like, what an awesome opportunity to let these inexperienced, younger girls really see elite pitching.
And they're seeing it as good as it gets. And a soon-to-be two-time All-American, Carlin Pickens. I was watching one of Carlin's interviews that Tennessee posts. She enjoys a good steak dinner post-game, baked potato. I think she earned a steak dinner yesterday.
Post-game meal.
Yeah, she earned that steak dinner yesterday. 10 strikeouts, complete game shutout.
I mean, she really is electric. And the way that she also can command her infield, every one of them, after every pitch, after every ball, there's always a conversation. And I think that's a large part of why this Tennessee team is so good this year.
Cut on and missed. It's 75.
picking up some speed here. She's pitched 3 days in a row, and her speed is only climbing since Friday.
Taylor Malvin steps in with 2 outs, nobody on for Ole Miss. 6-1 Tennessee on top in our rubber match today in Oxford. Malvin's 0 for 2 today, looking for her first hit of the series. There's a lot on the line coming into today. Ole Miss have never taken a series against the #1 ranked team in the country. They've only taken 3 series all time against Tennessee since 1997. Tennessee hasn't dropped a road series yet in conference play. That's including going to Oklahoma, going to Texas.
Talk about consistency with this team. Their ability to win on the road and off the road is amazing. I think it's something that you obviously have to have if you want to be the #1 team in the country. But leading into postseason makes traveling not a problem for Tennessee.
Well, that #1 ranking is just one massive target on your back.
The energy I get from this Tennessee team makes me feel like I don't think that they mind.
3 batters, 3 strikeouts for Carlin Pickens. 6-1, Tennessee on top in the 7th. Ole Miss is running out of outs. Sophia Nugent leads off. She's 2 for 3 today. One and one to start. She won national championships when she was at Oklahoma her freshman and sophomore year, and transferred to Tennessee. She's a sociology major too, without a focus, but next year Nugent plans on getting her master's in sociology with a focus in crime and deviance.
Oh, wow.
Her and Laura Mueller both getting sociology degrees. Bree Lopez still inside the circle for Ole Miss. Relieved Miley Wachenio in the 4th inning. And she walks Nugent.
I think on day 3, after throwing as much as you've thrown in the last 2 days, you're going to start to see fatigue. You're going to start to see pitches that typically work for you not working anymore. So what adjustments do you make? You know, I think it's hard now, especially when you continue to put batters on. She's done a great job today, starting out with a first pitch strike, you know, getting ahead of the count, giving herself an opportunity to kind of play with a couple of different pitches.
Destiny Rodriguez takes ball 1, sacked Button her last time up. And if you've been with us since the kickoff,
Yeah. It's a slight temperature change.
temperatures dropped off the end of the bat to first. Percy Yamas takes it to first herself and leaves Nugent alone. She advances to second. But there are some dark clouds on the way. Something we're monitoring. But the sun was shining literally until,
It was a beautiful morning.
literally until about that mid-6th inning.
Mississippi weather.
I've heard it's bipolar.
It's we're seeing it here today.
Yeah, getting my first-hand experience. Tennessee doesn't care, they're up 5. They're going to keep going. Savia Morgan with a 2-hit day today, singled in the 2nd and had an RBI single back in the 5th.
Savia Morgan's had a wonderful weekend.
She pops up, right side. Percy Yamas and Pickens were both calling for it.
You wonder if you make a different communication key there.
Yeah, I mean it's.
We've seen a few collisions today, or not today, but throughout the weekend from Ole Miss players.
It's always That is hard. It's kind of in no man's land, but you'd think that would be the second baseman's ball.
I would have assumed yes. The second baseman, looked like she was closer to it as Percy was kind of having to reach to grab it.
Here's Ella Dodge.
2 freshmen, though, they want it.
Better than 2 freshmen that don't want it.
That don't want it,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Dodge struck out in her last at bat back in the 5th inning. She's now 2 for 9 this weekend against Ole Miss. Doubled yesterday, scored 2 runs. In fact, those 2 hits yesterday, she only has 7 hits in conference play. It was her second double in SEC play, too. Also doubled against Auburn.
I think Tennessee's been so successful because they take that extra base. I think they're not relying strategically just on home runs or long ball game. I mean, Karen Weekly is going to push every single time.
Another walk from Bri Lopez, second in this 7th inning, and 3rd on the day. And that brings up Laura Mueller. And a quick call of time as Mueller gets I was going to say she's the one that gets the visit, but instead it's Nancy Evans who goes out to the circle.
Right. At this point, you just have this conversation where it's like, we need one more out. 2-out production Karen Weekly's been looking for.
After a disappointing Friday night and a 1-run loss to Ole Miss 3-2, Tennessee has scored 6 runs in back-to-back games. Looking for more here as Clark takes strike 1. She's 1 for 3 today, but had that line out to the hot corner. Ashton Lansdale robbed her. Leaped up, made a stellar catch, and then followed that up with a single in the 4th inning. Big spot here with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Chance to add to their lead. Tennessee starter today, Sage Margetko, in an interview said that Emma Clark's the funniest on the team as a freshman.
I feel like that's a word we've said a lot this weekend is freshmen.
Yeah.
Lots of freshmen.
And 2 successful teams, too.
Yeah. You love to see that. You love to see newcomers not being aggressive and not wanting or wanting to take a year underneath the belt to kind of see how this looks and see what it's like to compete in the SEC.
Lopez walks in a run. Her 3rd walk this inning. Tennessee leads 7-1.
Bri Lopez looking a little frustrated here.
And on back-to-back days, too, the 7th inning has been a nightmare for Ole Miss. Yesterday, Tennessee scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th to go on to win 6-0. And with Kinsey Fiedler at the plate with bases loaded, she is salivating at the opportunity to bring in some runs here.
She is. She's excited. She's been excited the entire weekend. She's been just outstanding to watch play. I like the way that she engages with everybody.
She's done everything but homer this weekend. Has a double in this game. She tripled on Friday night with her 8th triple on the season. It ties herself with Lindsay Schutzler.
And speed. I mean, speed on the base path. She's just quick. Something that may be a double or even just a single. I mean, she's taking an extra base almost every single time. Not afraid to go in, cleats up either.
Not the sharpest outing for Bri Lopez.
But still smiles, all smiles. Cool, calm, collected.
Someone that doesn't wear her emotions when she's in the circle. However, she's a great Fortnite teammate, we've been told.
And again, I'm like,
Legend says that Brie Lopez had 13 eliminations on production day back in February.
looking to eliminate here.
While she has to pose for photos, they're waiting on Brie Lopez to take her photos, but instead she's driving around in a car on Fortnite.
She's dedicated to the game.
In the studio, and she's doing it in the studio. Folks were amazed at what they saw that day. The legend is baffling. High fly ball deep out to left, and Jane Pone makes the catch. Ole Miss has a 6-run mountain to climb down to their final 3 outs.
Like the analogy, watching her throw that pitch against Arkansas, she didn't even know she had thrown it or had beaten the record. I think it was after the end of the game she kind of turned around and they had announced it up on the screen.
She had her heart set on it for a while, too. She'd been close in bullpens and in games before to that 78 miles an hour. Or I should say 77. The previous record was held by Monica Abbott, another Tennessee legend. Jaden Pone leads things off for Ole Miss. Monica Abbott, now an analyst for SEC Network, had the chance to meet her earlier on this year when she came to Oxford.
It was also outstanding for Tennessee. I mean, talk about consistency. Karen Weekly's pretty consistent with the players. I know that she likes to recruit.
Pone with a drive into right center field, way back there, and it one-hops the wall.
That was a beautiful piece of a ball right there. I mean, to the warning track.
A leadoff double for Ole Miss in this 7th inning.
I think with a little bit of wind, that would have been absolutely over.
Jaden Pone's 5th double this year. And that leadoff hitter is so critical, especially down 6, your final 3 outs. Get that leadoff runner aboard to get something going.
Started, you know.
Pinch hitter now for Ole Miss. Taylor Roman at the plate, hitting for Lair Boutte. Oh, that is Lair Boutte, excuse me. I thought over the PA speakers they said Taylor Roman was going to pitch it. Beg your pardon. Lair Boutte has a double today. Got Ole Miss on the board back in the 1st inning to draw first blood. That gets by Nugent, and up to 3rd is Jaden Pone.
That was a fantastic pitch. I mean, I also looked at the communication just now between Boutte and Pickens. It was a little close to her face.
Former teammates when Boutte was in Knoxville to begin her career. (3-1), chopped left side, leaping for its panel, but she has no play. It was deep enough in the hole for Boutte. Now she has a 2-hit day, and Ole Miss has runners on the corners, with nobody out.
No, I mean, Ole Miss is doing a great job right now of getting anything started. What an amazing position you put yourself in here with no outs, runners on 1st and 3rd. The heart of your lineup coming up. You have 3 outs to do it. Pickens having a talk now, you know. Hey, you know, we have 3 outs. Let's figure this out. I think it's been a great turnout though this weekend. I think that both teams have equally been tested. I think in all directions, truthfully, offensively and defensively. I think you've seen 2 different teams show up almost every other day. Friday was a completely different game. Ole Miss takes that one, and then Tennessee comes back yesterday. You're seeing a lot more ball.
And Carlin Pickens, too, gets that visit from Megan Rhodes-Smith, who's also a Tennessee legend in her own right. 5th all-time at Tennessee in strikeouts, 2nd in strikeouts per 7 innings, 6th all-time in ERA, too. Was part of the program's most successful stretch. 3 consecutive Women's College World Series appearances. Megan Rhodes-Smith. Nothing like being a legend at a school and building future legends. Aaliyah Binford at the plate. Down 0-2.
You talk about 78 miles an hour, and then she'll cook one at 64. It's difficult. You have 10 miles an hour. I think she struggles a little bit to locate accurately her off speed. I think she relies more on a swing and a miss there for it. But I mean, with as much velocity as she has.
1-2 on the foul ball. Ole Miss has something brewing. They're down 6 runs in the bottom half of the 7th. Off the inner part of the bat, and right behind second base, Dodge makes the catch. There's out number 1. Tennessee in the driver's seat to take the series, remain unbeaten.
Entering postseason, there's no better way you want to start. They have A&M next weekend.
Yeah, they haven't dropped a road series yet in SEC play, and they have Texas A&M at home next weekend. Yamas a big hack. 2 hits for Yamas today, single and a double. So a chance for Tennessee to go unbeaten in series in conference play this entire season. 2 beauties from Pickens, 0-2.
This is what makes Pickens so effective, is how much she can change her velocity, how accurately she can.
Foul tip hung on by Nugent. 4th strikeout today for Pickens, and 2 gone just like at the snap of a finger for Ole Miss.
As soon as you thought you might have something started, 2 quick outs.
Now it's up to Lexi Brady. Airs it out left center. Fiedler makes the catch. Ball game. Tennessee drops game 1 on Friday, and they have 2 statement wins Saturday and Sunday. Their 4th straight season with 10 or more road wins. They have won every SEC series on the road this season.
What an outstanding season for Tennessee as they hit into almost postseason. I mean, Carlin Pickens was absolutely amazing.
That does it for our coverage in Oxford. Thanks so much for being with us all weekend. Jack Robertson directed it. Mason Atkins produced it. We've got the best crew in the SEC. They took care of us all weekend. Tennessee wins the series. They take our rubber match today, 7-1. For Carly Hummel, I'm Jake Romano saying so long from Oxford. We'll talk to you down the line. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader